Hello, my name is Isaiah Harrison, and my group is going to be talking about the effects of drugs on the music industry. Music is a primary form of entertainment. It bleeds into almost everything like TV, movies, sports events, etc. Having so many opportunities for music to be heard across so many platforms, a lot of musicians are very stressed. Some turn to therapy, some go to vent their pain through the music. So many musicians, however, turn to more unhealthy methods such as drinking and state drugs. Such drug abuse can contribute to musicians' early careers and can often simulate some very wonderful works of art. However, this relationship between artists and drugs turns bitter to often and can end careers as well as lives. This is evidently a growing problem between the years of 1980 and 1999. There were approximately 42 drug-related deaths in the music industry compared to 40 deaths between the years 2000 and 2018, which is 83% of these artists were below the age of 50.
Nick Traynor was the youngest to die of drugs during the time, leading the punk rock band Blink 80. Nick had a history of using heroin and suffered from bipolar depression and ended his life purposefully overdosing on morphine in 1997. He was 19 years old. On the other side, Ike Turner was the oldest person to die of a drug overdose at the age of 76. Ike had a long history with drugs, specifically crack. He battled a crack addiction for nearly 16 years during the 80s and 90s. He was clean for the early 2000s, but sadly relapsed in 2004, before passing away from overdose in 2007. One of the most recent musicians to die of a drug overdose was Mac Miller, a hip-hop artist from Pennsylvania. Miller's lyrics and musical style was heavily influenced by drugs, and he specializes in making music that almost made the listener feel as if they were under an influence. Sadly, as many people say, Mac Miller died before his career reached its full potential. Mac, in fact, was scheduled to shoot a music video in the afternoon of the day he died, of an overdose on cocaine and fentanyl. Mac was only 26 years old. Now to speak to you about two more well-known artists, Deshaun Hawkins.
One thing to remember as musicians is you're never going to be invincible just because of whatever fame or fortune you may acquire. Take, for example, the king of pop himself, Michael Jackson, who died of a drug overdose in 2009. Michael was extremely exhausted due to the rehearsals for the tour he was on at that time. In order to push himself to go further, he turned to drugs. However, his doctor gave Michael an incorrect dosage, which resulted in his untimely death. Not all of these stories end in death, however. There is hope. Hip-hop legend Eminem has an extremely long history with drug use and has stated he's taken every drug at least once, often mixing them with other drugs for more effect. Eminem in 2007 was hospitalized from a drug overdose, an experience that served as a wake-up call for him, inspiring him to be completely sober for over 10 years now. The overdose is something that haunts him and led him to release an album titled Recovery in 2010, when he spoke about healing from his drug abuse and the problems that occurred of his life as a result of that. He still brings up his drug addiction even to this day on his most recent albums. Coming up next with the conclusion is Daniel.
Trevor McDonald wrote an article about drugs and the connection they have with the music industry, and in that article he said that there's no doubt that pop music glorifies drug use. From Miley Cyrus to Madonna, pop artists seem to have a connection and obsession with street drugs. He went on to list a few of the famous artists that died in the 2010s alone, including Lil Peep, Scott Weiland, Whitney Houston, and Amy Winehouse. Music that has lyrics containing drug use and lyrics about drugs makes up about 5 to 6% of the music out there today, when in 1980 it was just under 1%. While it is evident that drugs may usher in waves of creativity and can numb pain when it comes to problems, they are really expensive, they are extremely addictive, and just overall not worth it. This might lead to your career being cut short, and the risks outweigh the benefits extremely. However, it seems like people just don't listen, and that's the issue.
From country music to hip hop to pop to rock, drugs have always been an influence in music.
In conclusion, the music industry has been greatly affected by artists who couldn't handle the stress of being an artist and have fallen short because of drug addiction and lost either their voice or their talent, or have sadly passed away due to the drug addiction.
Overall, drug addiction is not a joke and is something that should be taken very, very seriously. And right now, currently, the music that's in that field of vision and that is under that microscope for drug use and drug lyrics is pop music, rap music, hip hop. It's no different than back in the rock days during Woodstock. Drugs were also a big thing, and it's just going to keep repeating itself with every genre. It's never going to stop. So we need to address this issue in order to keep music going.
We ain't gonna worry about that right now. We worried about getting your whole part
You're the
now.
one who didn't record my part in the
I'm
first
not-
place.
That might be the case, but right now we're trying to do it, so do it. You know? There you go.